Hello and welcome to my new weekly show, Toby TV, and here is what's on the show this week.
By the time we'd gone and got everything in the wheelbarrow, we only had about half an hour to rehearse.
This is authentic. Remember? You got your mum's scarf. Everyone could love them. Everyone liked them. It was easily accessible.
Okay, so first up, it's the digital busking sessions that I do on Thursdays at 8:15 p.m. through my Facebook business page. If you haven't seen them before, essentially I go on there and I play songs from my entire career, which could be anything from Wayward Sons, Little Angels, Fastway, and my solo stuff. Like I say, Thursdays at 8:15 p.m. is the place to be if you want to see that. Now, last week I did a special show, which was rarities from the Little Angels period. So that was good fun for me learning some of those songs again. So let's take a little look at that and some of the highlights from last week's show.
The marquee goes wild! The 15 people that are turned up, they're going mad, they're running around making it look like 25. It's brilliant! I can see it all now. It's floor sticky, there's beer everywhere. It's fantastic. What great memories. I remember a show at Warrington Parr Hall. Weirdly, I spoke to our tour manager today, Dee McLaughlin, who was the most wonderful guy, and he toured with the band right in the early days. And I haven't seen Dee for quite some time, over 20 years. And we spoke today for the first time, and we were talking and reminiscing. And I had a flash in my memory when I was talking to him about Dee fell off the stage. I can't remember exactly what happened, but he fell off the stage and really hurt his back, and we had to sort of get an ambulance whilst the gig was going on to get him taken and sorted out. It was awful. But I forget why he was on the stage at all, but he did fall off it. So that was like a bit of an awful thing. But anyway, I think one of the funny things that I remember more than anything else is before we became Little Angels, we were called Mr. Thrud. And we used to have a drummer called Paul Charles, who was a fantastic guy. Brilliant guy, but he was meticulous. He bought this drum kit. I mean, like all of us, we didn't have any money, so we were all sort of like scrimping and scraping to try and get our instruments. And I bought this guitar that cost $5. And Mark Plunkett, you know, he got a bass that cost next to nothing, and we were all just trying to cobble it together. And this is just before, actually. Funny enough, I think we even got involved with Bruce Dickinson. It might have been around about the same sort of time. But Paul was so obsessed with his drum kit, quite correctly, because it was all his money, all his pocket money and everything. We went to get it from Bridlington. We went and picked this drum kit up. But he never had any transport to get it from his house down to the rehearsal room. So we used to have to carry it down in a wheelbarrow. And we used to have to do about 3 trips. And he lived about half a mile away from the rehearsal place. So by the time we'd gone and got everything in the wheelbarrow, we only had about half an hour to rehearse. Because we couldn't, for whatever reason, we couldn't get our parents to do it, because my dad was parents were at work or whatever. It was I always remember that. There was such dedication, and Paul wanted to make sure, I remember it was all wrapped in towels and stuff, so he didn't scratch it on the wheelbarrow. I mean, that's God's honest truth. That's dedication for you. That's what you got to do when you want to be in a rock band. Carry your drum kit around in a flipping wheelbarrow. That's the truth.
There you go, great fun. Okay, so this week it's the turn of love songs that I've written from my career. So there's bound to be the obvious suspects from the Little Angels period, but also some of my solo stuff. So if you're into that, like I say, Thursdays, 8:15 p.m. from my business page on Facebook. Let's take a little look at a full performance of one of my songs from last week.
I'll finish work about 8:45, 6-pack later.
Next, Patreon. Okay, so what is Patreon? Well, allow me to explain. It's a Facebook-style platform where every member pays a small subscription to support an artist's career. Now, mine's called Toby and the Whole Truth. Now, what does it get you, this subscription? Well, it gives you all the deeper layers into my career. So it's everything from exclusive acoustic performances as well as historical performances. I also have lots of interviews going on with people from my history. So for instance, I interviewed all of the Little Angels members over the last couple of months, and they went on exclusively for the Patreon members. But one of the key things that we do is on a Monday night, I have a live free-to-air club where you're invited on and we talk about all sorts of subjects. So last week we talked about Bon Jovi in a club that we call Works of Wonder and the wonderful album Slippy When Wet. Let's take a little look at that.
Where's he gone? Oh, he's turned off. I can't believe it. I'm in costume and everything. Goodness me. Where is it? Oh, that was as much as you're going to get. I want to know where he got the trousers from. I can't actually see any of you at the minute for fear of. But this is, I think this is authentic. The whole. Remember? You got your mum's scarf. Well, it's not my mum's, it's Ket's scarf. But you know what I'm saying, all right? It's all what? I know behind the screens you're all doing the same. You got your leopard skin leggings on, haven't you, Pete and Barry? So, and you girls, you're sensible. You got the leather on. But we were all in this was what we were in. This is what it was all. And I'm going to take this bloody thing. Hang on, I can't see anything. It's all, I can't. Hey, they've got the lads there, look. Hey. I think this is the great thing about when you get an album like that, when you get a band like Bon Jovi, whether it's, you know, they crossed the divides, didn't they? They were the band that all guys wanted to be in. They were the band that all girls fancied all the guys in the band, but the guys didn't feel jealous of the band because they thought they could, you know what I mean? There was like, it was one of those bands. It was like everyone could love them. Everyone liked them. It was easily accessible. They were incredibly, they covered every base, didn't they? They were brilliant musicians. I mean, there's no two ways about that record. If you listen to it from a production point of view and from a performance point of view, and I know what it takes to make records especially back in the day, it is extraordinary how good that record is. It really is.
Great stuff. Yeah, I really, really love meeting all the Patreons on a Monday night and having a good old chinwag about whatever we decide to talk about. Like I say, if you go to patreon.com/Toby and the Whole Truth, it will give you an idea what it's all about. Okay, next up, let's talk about Viewfinder. So the Viewfinder album, what is it all about? Well, it is an album containing 20 tracks curated by me, which covers my solo career from about 1996 to 2011. And why have I done it? Well, it's a way of throwing some light really on what I was doing in what I consider my middle period. So really from the period after Ignorance is Bliss, that was my first solo record after Little Angels, right up until the period just before Wayward Sons came into being. So if you're interested in that, it gives, I think, gives a little bit of an insight into my psyche, what I was feeling, and all that sort of thing. So yes, if you're interested in that, go to my website, tobyjepsonofficial.com, where you can purchase it. Okay, let's take a little listen to one of the songs from the record and one of the story videos I've been issuing quite recently. Come to the title track of the album, Viewfinder. Now, this is a very simple explanation to this one, really. It was written roughly in the period between sort of 96, 97. We moved back down to Bristol in 97, and I know that I'd written it just before then. So I would suggest it's probably early 97, late 96, early 97. And really, it was kind of, I'd become very influenced by a lot of old records again, and specifically the Beatles. Because the beat don't move my feet, there's focus now here on my screen. If I turn and look, baby, there again. I'm looking through the finder to see what I can find. I'm looking through the finder, maybe I've been blind. Not gone, just forgotten the way. Blue-eyed sky has turned wicked gray. Yeah. There you go, a track from the Viewfinder album, my solo album, which is available through tobyjepsonofficial.com. Okay, so what's happening on the Wayward Sons front? Well, we've nearly finished the record. We are currently actually mixing it. I've just taken a break actually right now to do this. And I'm mixing it with Chris Diada at the Vale Studios. And yeah, I'm really, really pleased with it. We should get it finished next week, and then we'll be able to sort of build some kind of roadmap of promotion. And obviously things are a little bit difficult at the moment because of the obvious situation with COVID. But we've got a lot of good ideas, and I really cannot wait for you guys to hear the album in its entirety. Of course, we had the first single out, Even Up the Score, so let's take a quick look at that.
You might like it, but it's rotten to the core. You might scratch it, but that itch will leave you sore. You can taste it, but it leaves you wanting more. Till you even up the score. Even it up. Even it up. Even it up.
That's Even Up the Score from Wayward Sons. And as soon as we have a release date, we will let you know. Okay, that's about all I've got time for this week. And thanks for joining me on the very first episode of Toby TV. But of course, this Thursday, I've got my digital busking session. Of course, I am doing love songs, as I mentioned earlier on. So hopefully I will see you there. Okay, so until then, ciao, au revoir, and see ya.